Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slane. Hoping I got another video for y'all. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how the hood is not poor. It's your mentality that is poor. I'm going to show y'all two video clips and we're going to get into it. So the first video clip is of this real quick of my boy Yeezy.
People that say you turned your back on the culture or
exactly
black
100%. I have turned my back on the idea of victimization mentality. We are locked up. We went from 1 and 4. We went from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but we always pointing at the white people. But yet, we want to spend all of our money on foreigns. We want to spend all our money on luxury as opposed to going and buying some land. America is for sale. And there's a lot of barren land. Disney bought a lot of it in Florida. But the culture has you focused so much on and pulling up in a foreign and rapping about things that could get you locked up and then saying you about prison reform. Like, it's... Bro, we brainwashed out here, bro.
But when people say things like this, it's a problem. When black people say things like this, it becomes a problem for other blacks. You know, they want to cancel you. They want to say you're not really black. They want to take the black card. They want to do so many things. And he said a lot of real things. We are brainwashed. Brainwashed. See, because enslavement was never about what they was doing to you physically. It was about what it did to the mind. Mental slaves. They don't got to do nothing. You do it to yourself. Brainwash. You know, and then he said, and the crazy thing is, and then you point the finger. You do, it's like I shoot myself with my gun. And then I say, it's the white man's fault. Because he put the gun in my community. Do you hear that shit? Do you hear the logic in that shit? I pulled the trigger. You know, the amount of black folks that I done heard say shit like that, right? When I talk about we the ones that be pulling the trigger on each other. And they so quick to, well, who put the guns in the community? Like, we never gonna get nowhere like that. We're never gonna get with like that victimization mentality. Victimization mentality is not going to get us anywhere. This whole we waiting on a hero to come save us complex thing. This whole we expecting the country, the government, the president that we already know don't like us to come and save us. Like, we are crazy. Like, we are crazy. You know what? Let me read y'all something. This is from Think and Grow Rich, right? Now let me read y'all something real quick. From the back. And this is about the 55 excuses that people make, right? It says, people who do not succeed have one distinguishing trait in common. They know all the reasons for failure and have what they believe to be what they believe to be airtight alibis to explain away their own lack of achievement. Some of these alibis are clever, and a few of them are justifiable by facts, right? Meaning that some of the things that I'm about to read to y'all are true, right? There are some things that kind of like prevent people, but the whole point is not to sit there and think that you can't move past it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't sit there and be like, I just can't do it because I just don't have an education. Figure out a way to get an education. You got to figure it out. You can't just sit there. You get what I'm saying? So, it says some of these, all right, it says, but alibis cannot be used for money. The world only wants to know one thing. Have you achieved success? You know, so I'm going to read the alibis, right? It says, if only I didn't have a wife and a family. If only I had enough pull. If only I had money. If only I had a good education. If only I could get a job. If only I had good health. If only I had time. If only times were better. If only other people understood me. If only conditions around me were different. If only I could live my life over again. If only I did not fear what they would say. If only I had been given a chance. If only I now had a chance. If only other people didn't have it in for me. If only nothing happened to stop me. If only I were younger. If only I could do what I want. If only I had been born rich. If only I could meet the right people. If only I had the talent some people have. If only I dared assert myself. If only I had embraced past opportunities. If only people didn't get on my nerves. If only I didn't have to keep house and look after the children. To keep house, yeah, and look after the children. If only I could save some money. If only the boss appreciated me. If only I had somebody to help me. If only my family understood me. If only I lived in a big city. If only I could just get started. If only I were free. If only I had the personality of some people. If only I were not so fat. If only, I know you think I'm joking, but that's really there. If only my talents were known. If only I could just get a break. If only I could get out of debt. If only I hadn't failed. If only I knew how. If only everybody didn't oppose me. If only I didn't have so many worries. If only I could marry the right person. If only people weren't so dumb. If only my family were not so extravagant. If only I were sure of myself. If only luck were not against me. If only I had not been born under the wrong star. If only I were not if only it were not true that what is to be will be. If only I had not had to work so hard. If only I hadn't lost my money. If only I lived in a different neighborhood. If only I didn't have a past. If only I had a business of my own. If only other people would listen to me. If only, and this is the greatest of them all, I had the courage to see myself as I really am. I will find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Then I might have a chance to profit by my mistakes and learn something from the experiences of others. Like, this is 55 alibis, aka excuses, that people tell themselves. This is the common ones, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that people tell themselves to keep themselves in the conditions that they are, with an enslaved mindset, shackled. And it's all in their mind. So it don't matter where you put them. It don't matter where you move them. Their body's not confined, but their mind is, and that's the biggest thing. See, when I was incarcerated, my body was confined, but my mind wasn't, right? My body was in shackles, in chains, in a prison, but my mind wasn't. It was free. I was unfit to be a slave because my mind was free. But the people that we see out here in the community, their minds are enslaved and their bodies are free. And that shows you that if your mind is not free, it don't matter how free your body is. It doesn't matter how free your body is. And as long as we keep making these excuses and we keep pointing the finger, we're going to be living in these conditions that we are living in. Now, I'm going to show y'all the next clip real quick.
This response here is something I said about black power and black influence, okay? I'm going to give you one simple example of how powerful the black community in America is. Just retail spending power. That coin, that money is power. Now look at this. Right here on top of Google, the African American population, yes, historically held an extremely powerful position in the retail marketplace, excuse me. Look at this. You guys, the black community, known to drive trends across food, beauty, media, and more. Okay, this is just one aspect of black power. Look at this. The reach, projected reach by 2024 is 1.8 trillion. That's a T, y'all. Trillion dollars. $1.8 trillion. Part of this thread here, I stated that blacks in America, yes, African Americans, they can create or destroy any company in the United States of America if they wanted to. If they acted collectively. $1.8 trillion is no freaking joke. You agree?
You heard what this man just said? And this goes back to what Kanye West said. This man just said the black community has the power to destroy any company in America if they wanted to, if they worked collectively. $1.8 trillion projected, right? 2024. That is the GDP of certain countries. Do you understand that? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of this money is debt, right? Some of this money is debt. And I'm gonna give you an example of how, right? In 2000, I believe, 2009, 2008, Capital One wanted to figure out how they was going to make $2 million. They wanted to figure out how they was going to make $2 million in a short span of time. So one man came up with an idea, and they was like, we're going to give 10,000 poor people, it was predominantly in the black community, we're going to give 10,000 poor people we're going to give 10,000 poor people credit cards with $200 on them. There goes your $2 million, right? And credit card, and then they had an activation fee of $70. So by the time you activate it, a lot of people are gonna say charge to the card, right? So they'll be like, oh, do you want to charge to the card or pay out of pocket? A lot of people charge to the card, right? Now that's $130. A lot of people don't really know math in the community, right? So $130, they still thinking they got $200, right? Now they think this money is free. It's a credit card. So they spend, even if they spend the $130, you still got to pay that back. You got to pay the whole $200 back. So they'll spend the money. They'll go over. Right? Not only would they not be able to pay it back, some people will go over. So that's just an example of how that gets calculated into also spending sometimes, right? Like that, like people buy new iPhones, right? And they owe money. Like they'll buy them on a $25 down kind of like plan or lease them or whatever they do, right? And you still owe money, but that's still accounted for. You bought this phone. Right? People do that with a whole bunch of stuff. TV, they do it with sneakers nowadays. So you get what I'm saying. But overall, the point of the video is still the spending power, right? Because there's such thing as good debt and bad debt, right? Now, good debt is the debt that you accumulate to make more money. And bad debt is the debt that you accumulate just cause. Like you're not making no money out of this. You're not busting no moves with the bread. You just took out a loan just to splurge and spend, right? You didn't take out a loan to put it down on something, make more money and flip that. So you got to understand that. But the point is that if he said if it was collectively, right? And back to Kanye West's point, collectively, people are not thinking about what they do with their money because propaganda has, the culture has fed us a certain narrative. And of course, we know, like I mentioned propaganda before, we know, some of us don't know who's controlling. But even the people that do know, they still are working as agents for these people because they go out there and promote and put the stuff out. They put the negativity out, right? We making these people money. The hood ain't poor. Why you think the Arabs are in the hood? Why you think the Spanish people that don't live in our communities that, they just own bodegas and groceries and supermarket, why you think they in the hood making money? Why you think the Jews is in the hood making money? Everybody is going to make money out the hood. The hood spending money with people. They spending money. They going to these stores, these businesses that don't belong, the Indians, the Checkers, the Dunkin' Donuts, the corner stores, the 99-cent stores, they don't belong to our people. But we are spending our money there, right? And when we do get a little change, we're going to the club with it, right? We buying foreigns. We barely, we can't even afford that stuff. But that's what we buying. We buying the Mike Amiri, the Christian Dior, the Gucci. This is what we trying to live. Because in America, if you don't have these things, your life don't mean shit. You don't mean shit. So we want to feel good. We want to look good. So we front. But it's hurting us. It's hurting the culture. And when people turn their back on this culture, they get ostracized or they get looked at in a certain way. They get caught selling. Like, how you gonna call somebody a sellout that does not want to be a part of that culture of victimization, blaming everybody else when we are the ones that are indulging and engaging in self-detrimental behaviors? Look at all that spending power. He talking about the black people are able to influence beauty, right? Food. What else he said? I don't know if he said media, right? Music. But we don't own none of that. We don't own none of that. So why wouldn't I make some money off you? You can't be mad at the white man. Of course, he trying to make money. I'm trying to make some money off y'all too. Shit. Why would you get mad? You can't get mad at nobody but yourself. Right? Popeye's chicken, all the money Popeye's made. I forgot the amount. All the money Popeye's made, all the money Jordan makes. Because you feel like you gotta have the Jordans when they drop. I just gotta have them. You willing to collect debt. At one point, dudes was out here killing people for Jordans. Look at the shit that we do. And you want to blame the white man? Sometimes I be trying to teach people about credit, and people don't want to learn about credit. You know how many people don't have bank accounts? Like we can't blame nobody, man. We can't blame nobody, honestly. We really can't blame nobody, man. We can't blame nobody. Come on. It's 2022. The internet is crazy. YouTube University is going crazy. It's so much shit out there, man. Come on. And like I said, man, I'm about to get up out of here because I don't like beating dead horses in the head. Somebody gonna take heed, right? Somebody gonna appreciate the video. Somebody gonna share it. Somebody gonna do something different in their life. And that's really what matters. But like I said, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Your limbs can't be, it don't matter how free your limbs are, your body parts, if your mind ain't free. But if your mind is free and your limbs are chained, you can still do things. So know the difference. No matter how free you are, seems like the more freer we get, the dumber we get. Again, pay attention to the stuff you consume. Pay attention to the things you put in your head. Pay attention to the things you read from. At one point, you was getting killed. You was getting killed if you knew how to read. And now y'all satisfied with not reading? You satisfied with not learning, not picking up a book? You don't pick up books to read to. Sad, man. It's sad. And that's part of the culture. It's not cool to read. We gotta make reading cool. But yeah, man. Don't say the hood is poor, man, when people are making money off of us in the hood. It's people businesses in the hood racking up. We going to spend there faithfully. Even if they violate us, treat us crazy, we still going there to spend. And something. So let me know what y'all thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Free yourself. Peace.